I would love to deep dive into your background a little bit more because you niched, but you started out, as many do, in looking at it, just interior design, big picture, right? You started with residential, you niched to color consulting. Do you want to go into your background a little bit and how you made the decision to niche?
This is a crazy convoluted story that most of you won't believe if you actually hear it, because I don't think we've ever shared it on the podcast. So that's a great invitation. Yeah. So long story short, my undergrad degree was in communications, which is why I love doing this and sitting here every single, 2 weeks, talking to different people about what they're doing. Like I always say, hire people smarter and more capable than you. I invite them on my show. Then I sit here and I learn at the feet of the best and the brightest. But that's really where my undergraduate degree was. And then when I got out of school, I actually went into reporting and news anchoring for a number of years and got really frustrated with feeling like I didn't have creative license. I had a minute and a half at most every night to create a story, or I had whatever was in front of me on a teleprompter at a desk that I had to read. And don't get me wrong, I love the profession, but it started feeling like I didn't have enough creative license. It felt more like I was a performer and a monkey in someone else's act. And I hated that feeling. And then it was at that time I really got interested in real estate. And it was totally during the fix and flip era. Started wandering down that road. I'm like, where are all the color people? Like, I don't need you to come in and tell me what pillow. I just need you to tell me what color to paint my wall. And about that time, I had finished up my MBA while I was still news anchoring. And I thought, okay, I see a need. I've always wanted to do my own business. Why isn't someone out there doing paint color consulting? And it was like maybe one other person, one or two, that were doing it for the entire metro. And I was like, there's such an opportunity. And this is why, if you're thinking of niching out and you're like, but I don't have the resources and I need active capital and I need X, Y, and Z to do this, like, let this be a source of encouragement to you. I literally showed up to my first client. I made a website myself and I got a call and I showed up with a cardboard box about this big with 3 fan decks in it. One from Sherwin-Williams, one from Behr, and one from PPG. And I was like, well, here I am. Like, you want to talk about imposter syndrome. Oh, sister.
Oh my gosh.
We can talk imposter syndrome all day long. I'm like, I'm here to color your beautiful house and I have a cardboard box. And literally that's where it started. And it grew into, we need more help than just our paint, which grew into residential design. And after 3 years, I just want to say, I am amazed by residential designers. You have a skill set that is so incredibly ridiculous because you're choosing pillows, but you're choosing outlets, you're doing structural, you're doing all of these things in the midst of usually 2 people who don't agree. And my tolerance level for providing marital counseling in addition to design services was like slim to nil. And so
oh my gosh.
I managed for 3 years. And after 3 years, I said, I want to do commercial. I want to do B2B. I love where this business is going, but I want bigger projects in some ways. And I need it to run more like a business than trying to sit here and listen to 2 people argue over where that outlet's going to go or why they should have a pony wall instead of a solid wall. Do you feel me on that? And it was a gradual transition. And then for a long time, we just did exteriors and commercial before we ended up going into interiors right before my youngest went to kindergarten. I wanted her in school full time before I turned on interiors. And so people will say, well, you've been around since 2007. Yeah, we've been around, but it's been, to your point, we have niched, re-niched, niched again, expanded, niched some more. And that's like the beauty of what we do. And that's why I never want anyone to feel trapped because I remember that feeling and it was a horrible, horrible feeling. And that's why when we talked about doing this, I thought, my gosh, everyone needs to know there's room for transition and the world can be an agile place.